afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Hospitality 360, your news week in review. I am Ritu Rani, one of your hosts, and I'm here with Ken Patel, the CEO of EV Everything. I'm just reading your bottom, and I'm not going off the script. Ken, EV Hotel Group, what's going on this afternoon?
Nothing. I figure, we've got the world famous #1 podcaster, do it all, Mr. Haussman.
You got Rubesh here? What?
Oh, that's a good one, Glenn. I think it's very exciting to have Glenn on, and I always see his show where he's got these funny names on it, and I was like, let me try something.
Okay, you got me, and I'm the most serious one out of the three of us. But we have Glenn Haussman, who is the the legendary brains behind the No Vacancy podcast, and he's been doing it for 5 years, and everyone in the industry knows him. So we are so excited to have him on today.
Hey, well, thank you. I'm so excited to be here, guys. This is awesome. And of course, Ken, you're referring to Friday Night Audit, our Friday night at 5 p.m. Eastern show, where we have a cocktail, have a whole lot of laughs. We tell stories from the road. And you're not going to believe this, but tomorrow we have none other than the CEO of Radisson Americas, Jim Alderman, joining us to have some tequila and tell some stories and have some laughs. How cool is that?
My neighbor. He's actually my neighbor. Ask him about me. He'll tell you.
I will. That won't be awkward at all when I'm like, Ken Patel.
He's gonna be like, just tell him Alfreda, Georgia. That's all you got to tell him.
Yep.
No, but that's awesome. I'm definitely gonna tune in. We want to check it out. I don't think Ritu's ever seen it, but I'll get her on it. Don't worry, Glenn. I got you.
Okay, I see some teaming up, but we have an exciting show, as always, powered by EV Human and sponsored by Surfer Quest. We've got some big news before we go into all the articles. Ken, we've got a different logo in the back of you and me, and I see the Haussman Hotel in back of Glenn.
Well, the same old free logo we got from a downloadable Facebook thing. So.
Ken, what's up with the EV with the robot on top that we have in back of us?
I thought it was a crown for you.
Well, it could be.
Let me have them, if they can pull it up. It's right here. This is the logo. So the top of it is a robot that's sitting down trying to give a hug. That's what the top is. So the concept, I know everybody's waiting for this big announcement. I'm not giving anybody the big announcement. That they're going to still wait on the big announcement, but the concept behind this brand, it's a lifestyle hotel. It's a lifestyle hotel that we've never seen. It's focused on AI. It's focused on technology. It fits between an upper mid-scale and luxury brand. It's going to have robots, obviously, and it's going to have EV Human. It's going to have vending machines that make hot foods inside.
Nice.
It's going to have secondary live streaming devices. It's going to have interactive fitness centers. It's going to have anything that you can think of technology-wise. It's going to have it. You're going to be able to call your car if you have the LiDAR technology right to the vestibule.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So is it true, Ken, that in your fitness center, they're going to do the machines are going to do the exercise for you so you can sleep in?
Yeah. It's called a sleeping exercise.
Okay. So the treadmills are going to have equipped with pillows.
Yeah, we're gonna have a special room in there, and it's gonna be called the Haussman.
So if you're ever feeling depressed, just go there and you can commiserate with others.
Well, we're really excited to see this concept come to life and to see the EV Human software in it. So congratulations, Ken. on that. And,
yeah, Ken, it's really exciting to see what you're doing, and you're really trying to shake things up out there. So kudos to you for going out there and taking the chances that others aren't.
Yeah, thank you guys. I mean, you know, spending this is my 25th year in the industry, and you know, I felt that we definitely needed to change. We need, whether it is through a technology revolution or we need to make changes in the industry that is going to further us a lot more years than we currently are in. So, you know, and I've never in a million years thought I would have my own brand, but now that I do, and the vision that I have for it and
right,
what I want to do. So great feedback. Hopefully, you know, we kind of make it to the levels that we think we're going to make it. You know, we got a great team, and, you know, we'll see where it goes.
Awesome. Did we lose Ritu there?
Did we lose her? We might have.
Well, yeah, that maybe she's really concentrating hard on what
She might be actually concentrating very hard right now. You know, so Glenn, tell us a little bit about what your role is with AAHOA, what you're doing there, and what your role might be with AAHOA itself.
Mostly trying to get to the front of the line at the buffet, because I love Indian food at the AAHOA events. Best food scales up, can have thousands, and it still tastes absolutely delicious. But beyond that, I'm happy to say that we're the official podcast of AAHOACon 21. So come by and see us. We can have the No Vacancy booth out there. We're going to be broadcasting live. How cool is that going to be, Ken? We got great shows on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday of next week, live from there. Plus, we're going to be doing a special Friday night audit sponsored by our good friends over at Ideas. But we're doing that on Wednesday night. And we'll also be capturing some interviews with AAHOA people. So if you are going to be at that event, come by between 1 and 3. Come say hello. Tell us why you love AAHOA so much. We'll capture your story. So it's going to be a whole lot of fun stuff. Can't wait to go to Dallas and maybe get some good Dallas smoked brisket.
Well, we're definitely going to link up. You know, I think, as I mentioned, when I'm getting in there, and, you know, I look forward to it. This is actually, I tell this to everybody. This is my first official AAHOA event. So,
what?
Yeah, I've actually never been to AAHOA, so we're gonna see.
Just the unofficial events that they hold from time to time with all the people that don't feel like they deserve to be at the real events.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the official AAHOA event. So. Cool. And, you know, I look forward to it.
The unofficial one, you know, they're really just you and some friends at a bar. I mean, I don't know.
Did you guys kick me off?
It was all Ken's idea. He was like,
Ken's idea. I'm like, what is going on?
Well, you know, we figured we're like, you know, you might have wanted to take a little break or something.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Oh,
actually, you lasted longer than most people do in a conversation with me. So good for you guys.
Oh, well. Hey, and we still have 21 minutes to go.
Well, you know, it's. I think Ritu's going to be there too, Glenn. So I think, you're going to be able to meet Ritu in person, and it's going to be exciting. You know, we're just going to think we might start handing out raffle tickets to say we're going to go to the Haussman Hotel and having a Haussman party.
I love it, but if you can't make it out here to the Haussman Resort Pool Club and Smokehouse here in Smithtown, Long Island, I will be, you know, helping the good folks over at Red with some presentations that they're doing. And you too out there, you get your registration bag, you can get a key. You might have a chance to win big prizes by stopping by their booth. So that's going to be pretty cool. I'm going to be hosting something there, including an incredible giveaway to the organization LPA. I'm going to be donating a sizable check to that. So looking forward to being part of that.
Yeah, and congratulations to Nancy. That's actually the president of LPS, and the work that she does. So that's phenomenal to hear. We're going to actually have her on the show next week. So
awesome.
It's going to be exciting. You're more than welcome to join next week too, Glenn, if you want.
I will be recovering from ALIS, I think. Actually, at this time next week, we're taking my boys. I have a 17-year-old twin boys starting senior year this year. We're taking them up for their first college tour, which we're doing on Friday of next week. So that should be exciting.
Awesome. Yeah. Is ALIS a disease?
It is if you go every year.
Yeah.
Have you not been?
I have not been to ALIS, but Glenn, I wanted to ask you about, I know you're going to ALIS next week, and also the Hotel Experience Conference. I know you know some stuff about that, and we're all going to be at AAHOA, which is, I guess, what I missed when I got kicked off by Ken.
We were just talking about that. Mm-hmm.
So, so you already went through that? Okay.
Good. But not the Apex Experience. We talked all about AAHOA.
Okay. Talk to me about Hotel Experience and ALIS.
So the Hotel Experience is an interesting show. It's been around for many, 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 many years. It used to be known as the International Hotel, Motel, and Restaurant Show at the Javits Center in New York City. And it's used to be the biggest deal of them all. And then things started to shift, and there were a lot more events that came around, and things kind of changed. It got sold again. And BDNY broke off of it, which was more of a design-focused show. And then they recreated the IHMRS into what's called the Hotel Experience. And then I think 2 years ago, 2019, was the first. It was 2018. My apologies. It may have been 2018. You guys out there will correct me if I can't figure it out. I think 2018 they worked with AAHOA, but in 2019 it became powered by AAHOA. So that was a great way to take it up a couple of notches and to really be able to have the AAHOA community understand how important this event is and come on down to it, because it used to be such a formidable event. Everyone from all around the country would do that one, and it was always a lot of fun. It still is a lot of fun because New York in November, it's nice and chilly. Good time.
Yeah. Well, we're excited to see what comes of that. Ken, do you want to add to that, or should we go into all the articles?
It was interesting. I didn't even know this, that the Hotel Experience was powered by AAHOA. So it was kind of interesting to me that they were involved in that. I don't know if that's something new or.
I believe the first year they did it was 2019. They had a relationship in 18. Again, guys out there, correct me. But in 2019, we were doing No Vacancy with Glenn Haussman podcast, which is audio only. And they set me up with a space over there and all of that. It was great broadcasting live from that show. But AAHOA did a whole lot of, if not all of the educational programming for the show as well. And they had some sort of relationship with helping promote the trade show. And I don't know if they were involved in selling, but it was pretty cool relationship.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think I'm definitely going to be there. I will never miss an event if it's in New York City as my home city. So I am going to be there.
If that's the case, you'd be in New York City all the time. There's always something going on in New York.
I try to find an excuse where I can go if it's related to hotels. So this is an excuse related to hotels.
I actually do not like events in New York City, because I like, when I'm on events, I like to be at the event. When I'm in New York, I feel like I should be home, and I never feel like I'm fully in it because I'm a New York guy. So what are you gonna do?
Oh, we have Brandy Patterson says she remembers you.
That's awesome, Brandy. Thanks for joining.
It goes way back.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Glenn.
Okay. And hi, Amy. I see she's saying hi to us as well.
Yeah.
Hey, Amy. Great to see you.
So,
go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead. I was going to.
No. Nancy had chimed in. So we just want to say hello there to Nancy.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Nancy.
So let's talk about the article in Lodging Magazine that's talking about the AHLA. And they're saying that nearly 500,000 hotel jobs are not going to return by 2022. And, I read this and I'm like depressed all over. It's just like the take on this article has we're in gloom and doom world. I'll read some of the stats from it, but, more than 1 in 5 direct hotel operations jobs have been lost during the pandemic, nearly 500,000 in total. And they're not going to have returned by the end of the year. The hotel occupancy rate is projected to drop 10% from 2019 levels. Hotel room revenue is going to be down $44 billion this year compared to 2019. and states and localities will have lost more than 20 billion in unrealized tax revenues from hotels over the past 2 years. Now, a lot of what's going on for the last 2 days, you have the AHLA and AAHOA going to Washington for their virtual action summit, virtually to Washington, I guess, this year, to, help Congress understand what's happening and pass some of these bills. There's a lot of stuff going on. Now, I personally don't think the outlook is as bad as what the article is saying. I feel like there's been a little more of a recovery. If you look anywhere, like the hotel room rates are just through the roof in any of the hot markets right now. But it is a big deal, and I wanted to turn first to Glenn for his opinion on this particular article.
All right. So one of the problems when you see articles like that is it seems to clump absolutely everything into one particular category. So it's very nuanced. There's a lot of things going on at the property level. Even if they want to fill some of these jobs, they simply can't because there's nobody around to it. So that's a little bit of it. Secondly, you have to think about what's happening in urban cores and the big convention centers and all of that kind of stuff. That business has not yet come back, and it's not going to come back necessarily by the end of the year, certainly not in any meaningful kind of numbers. So a lot of that explains why we're seeing a loss in jobs, why we're going to see that 10% drop that's happening in occupancy all around. It's that business travel. It's the smaller groups that are going to be a big problem. We all know leisure has been absolutely phenomenal in some areas, but again, back to the jobs being lost in the industry, a lot of the major hotel companies and organizations pruned out a whole lot of middle management people, got rid of all sorts of positions. Those positions are not going to come back. And I don't even know how many of those positions were created since 2007, 2009, 2010, after the last economic recession happened. So you had this 10-year period of everything getting big, everything getting fatter and fatter and fatter because we can't help it. That's just the nature of the business. So we were probably too oversubscribed the amount of employees we needed, a lot of these particular companies. So some pruning had to take place. But the sad result is a lot of folks lost their jobs. A lot of folks are just not going to come back to the industry, in particular, those assistant GM roles at the property level. That is where I think it's going to be most insidious for the business. I think everything else is going to be fine. Everything else will come back. Everyone wants to look at a 10% drop this, so 100% drop of that from 2019. But do you guys give yourself a break? Look back at 2017. You were really happy in 2017. Look at what your numbers were. Feel good about that. It won't be so bad. It's just a perspective on how you choose to look at things. When it comes to these numbers, we could all be super sad, or we could figure out how to leverage them for our future opportunity.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ken.
Well, I think most of the people know my take on this. I've said 2024 for a long time, right? Even going back to December of 2020. And I think Glenn says it really well. We got to take what is there right now. And there is not 2017, 2018, or 2019. And it's going to take a while. We knew that it's going to take a while. I've said this, and even when Chip was on our show, he agreed with it, as I kept saying, summer is summer. The summer business is going to happen. Even as we looked at 4th of July this year's 4th of July that landed on a weekend was not better from the 2019 4th of July that landed on a Thursday.
Right.
Well, we're not there. And then the urban markets are still going to struggle. And the employee aspect and the labor aspect, I think I've been knocking this down that we need automation. The only way we resolve this 30% turnover rate is through automation.
Right. And Ken, let me just jump in and say why you're so spot on about that. And I see Nick Patel saying all roads lead to automation too. That has to be the future. These 500,000 jobs may not come back, but I don't think everyone wants certain jobs to come back. Wouldn't you rather have something automated that you don't have to pay people who don't get sick and all of that kind of stuff? So there's a big change that's afoot. So again, we may not want all those jobs to come back because of stuff that you're doing, Ken. You're not going to have any type of staffing at an amazing hotel product compared to what other folks need.
Well, I agree. I just want to make a point with that Glenn was saying, you know, you've got all these people that have left, but you've also got this crunch now. There aren't enough people to fill the jobs as it is. So you're going to need to do something, pandemic, no pandemic, whatever it is, you need more bodies.
Yep.
And there aren't the bodies, and people don't want to come back. And, you know, they're doing other things. You need the automation. Otherwise, it's just going to be, it's not a nice experience.
Yeah,
Otherwise.
I mean it's a perfect segue into even our robots. I mean, the reason we have those housekeeping robots that EV has created is just let's
Right.
housekeeper do two tasks at that point. But yeah, I mean automation is key, and I think Glenn, you know that I came on your show when I launched EV back in January, right? And I think we had the conversation before the show, and I've been dragging it this whole time. So automation is going to be the way. It's now and in the future.
Right.
Yeah. You see, Mike, hi, Mike. He wrote a comment that the most important people on this planet are in hospitality, hotels, restaurants, or anyone serving others. It's our task to bring back kindness, patience, positiveness, and technology that plays a big part in all of this. And I agree with you, Mike. And that's the whole point of what we're saying. You need to have people do jobs where they are serving other people and let the robots take care of all the other stuff where you're not serving other people. You need to be greeted with a smile when you need the human interaction. Otherwise, you know, it's just hard. People are overworked in hospitality jobs. That's why there's such a high burnout rate. And people are finding other things to do. So that's a really big part of it. But I agree with your comment, Mike. I want to, you know, there's another take. It was also on Lodging Magazine. There was another article, but this is from CBRE. And this article had a little more of a positive spin on it, that the U.S. lodging demand will return to pre-pandemic levels by Q4 of 2023. So, you know, they're more encouraged about the growth so far that's happened in 2021. But it's really those urban markets, which we've talked about a lot on the show, that are not coming back in the same capacity that the other markets are coming in, partially because of COVID and partially because of business travel, you know, just not going back to the big cities. So you've got two factors like, you know, New York, San Francisco, those markets are really, really hurting. And, you know, with this third wave or second wave, whatever, Delta variant, I think that's just going to make it worse for those urban markets. But, you know, on a positive note, there is all that revenge travel. People are charging a lot, whatever rooms that are available down here in Florida. I mean, you can't get a room in a luxury hotel for under $800-900 a night right now. It's crazy. So, Glenn, your head.
I've got a great sleeping bag in the back here.
Oh, okay. In New York
a night, yeah. So
how much is it?
$250 a night, but we're also a little outside the city, like miles.
That's why the premium.
Yeah, right. That's why you're paying so much for that. Did I mention the pool's heated? All right. So anyway, yeah, I think you got to look at these sorts of things again in several different ways. Number one, being a journalist in this business for almost 30 years. And observing what was happening. It's more like 26, 27 years, honestly. And observing what was happening, I've seen every organization that puts out numbers is always just guessing. So the reality is usually very different than what happens. I'd be curious to see how this gets revised. And I don't mean to pick on CBRE. I see this with the people that put out, that company that puts out all of the major statistics that we all live and die by, right? So I would go to an event in like January that had, this is what this year is going to be at the end of the year. Then I'd go to another event in March and the numbers would be different. And then I'd go to the number in, you know, June and the numbers would be different. And then I'd go to an event in September and the numbers would be different. And lo and behold, by the end of the year, they got it all right. So, you know, just take a look at just got to always take statistics with a grain of salt when you're out there. I do see why they are saying this, because when you're looking at what's happening in those urban cores, and again, going back to those events that are not yet happening and the events that when they do happen won't be attended by as many people, all of those things start to add up over time. So people that are still reluctant in 2022 will be back at it. by 2023 for sure. As for business travel, guys, that's going to come back much quicker, in my opinion, than people say it's going to come back. Throughout the pandemic, everyone was like, wow, 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 horrible, 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 never, 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 never. And lo and behold, Florida's charging more than they ever have for certain rooms. So there is no such thing as never. I've heard it a lot in my career. I've seen people prognosticating. The best thing you could do, use your smarts, pay attention to what the news is, and don't look back on this show to see if I got anything, what I just said with my claims, wrong a year from
now. Ken?
Oh, I think Glenn's been the best guest we've had so far. So I think this is what I clearly said. We live in two worlds of hospitality right now. Mm-hmm. There's the urban market and there's the not urban market. Yeah. And which one is going to come out on top? We've always had the urban market on top, right? Mm-hmm. Most of the time. Right now, the urban market is not doing well. It's going to take a longer time to recover. But do I feel, I've said this, that they're saying 2024. I'm saying 2023, first quarter, right? We have to have the entire 2022 go by and see how it comes out. But we've recovered so fast, faster than usual. It reminds me of the stock market. And when I look at the growth stocks, that they grow so fast and then down so hard. Mm-hmm. So I feel like we're going to still come down a little bit. Then we're going to go back up in 2022. And, there's certain markets that are doing really well right now. So, and like Glenn was saying, Florida. I mean, I know I paid $1,200 a night in March to go to Key West, and I stayed at the Waldorf. So, I mean, was it worth $1,200? No, it wasn't worth $1,200. But it's the demand, right? It's to the demand that's currently there and what it is and how things are operating. I'm sure Glenn's seen it. So it's going to all matter. I mean, we're going to see it. We're going to really be able to see how these markets operate when September rolls around and even October.
Yeah, Ken, to your point, though, part of it is demand, but part of it is that not all the hotel rooms are operable because they don't have enough staff to service. And, the menus are limited in a lot of the luxury hotels. Like there are a lot of issues out there. It's not just demand. It's the supply is actually less than what it was. So, it's a big part of it. One thing, I know we only have 2 minutes left, less than 2 minutes. The producers are flagging me. We had talked about in the New York Times a couple of weeks ago that they had, listed, there was a list of where you could and could not travel. And Forbes magazine just put out another one. And it's very interesting because with this Delta variant of COVID, you now have new countries that are on this red list: Netherlands, Spain, Portugal, Luxembourg, Cyprus, parts of Greece, Denmark. They're all very, very high. I mean, you've got countries, I was reading the statistics off to Ken, 64.3% increase in weekly COVID cases. There was in Netherlands, since they released, they eased up the restrictions, over 500% increase. So, this is really going to be a problem. And, this has happened because we've opened everything up. We've opened up business. We've opened up leisure travel, especially in Europe where, the summer is like summer vacations. Europeans go off for 2-3 weeks easily. It's going to affect purchasing of hotels from the real estate perspective. It's going to affect all aspects of the hotels. And Glenn, I want you to comment really quickly on what you think about, this the second, third wave, whatever you want to call it, the Delta variant.
Easy. Don't be a dumbass. Get vaccinated. Let's get this stuff over with.
I like it.
I mean, seriously. I mean, anyone suffering from smallpox out there? Anyone got a good case of the polio? No, they got vaccinated. Go on. Get vaccinated. Let's get on with our lives. Thank you very much.
I think that's well said. I mean, it's just time. We can't go back to square one. I mean, there is no square one anymore.
It's not going to happen.
It's pretty much now we have to realize that the government is not going to go back to square one, no matter what. It's an option now. you want to get cured or you want to use that other word that we don't like using. But, the fact is,
I'd use the word cold. That's it. Cured or cold. That's going to.
Oh, boy.
I mean, seriously, I'm joking around, but I'm deadly serious at the same point. We all see what's happening in the hospitals right now. We're paying attention to the news. I saw that story about this nurse with the people begging to get the vaccine as they're basically dying because they made a dumb decision. It's sad.
Yeah. It's sad. And that's what we tell people all the time is that if you're not vaccinated, there's so many different ways for you to get vaccinated. So kind of take those options and just make sure that you guys go get vaccinated. If not for you, for your kids, so might as well. And, that pretty much does it for us today. I look forward. I mean, I'm going to pass it on to Ritu, but once again, Glenn, I look forward. I know we're doing something at AAHOA as well. So I look forward to seeing you at AAHOA, and I'm sure Ritu as well. Thank you for being our guest, and I'm looking forward to having you on even more.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys. Great to see you. See you next week.
Thanks a lot, Glenn. Thanks, Ritu.
Bye.